Hey folks, I'm Roger P. Foley, and today I just want to talk to you about life. I can't speak for everyone, obviously, but in my life, I feel like there's always been certain points in my life that I've been caught up with certain things. When I was boxing, there really seemed to be nothing more important than boxing. When I played football, there seemed to be nothing more important. When I dated that special someone, they seemed to take such a focus. And you might think, well, that's weird. Why are you pointing those things out? Well, I just watched a movie called Gleason. Steve Gleason was a New Orleans Saints safety, blocked a big kick in a game right after Hurricane, I think it was Katrina, and it was really a symbol of hope. The NFL talked about it as sort of a rebirth of New Orleans after that tough storm that they had. Well, a few years later, Steve Gleason retires, and him and his wife are at that point where they're going to have a baby, or they're trying to have a baby, and he is diagnosed with ALS. And I be honest with you, I didn't know that much about ALS. I watched a documentary probably just about 8 months ago, if that, about a former teammate of mine at Alabama. His name was Kevin Turner. Real strong, tough guy on the football field, definitely a leader's mentality. And I watched the HBO special about him going through ALS. And it saddened me. I cried. I even reached out to old teammates that I hadn't spoken to in a long time, and had the opportunity to speak to one of my old coaches, actually two of my old coaches. Now today I watch this movie, Gleason, and I gotta tell you, for the last hour and 45 minutes, I sat there with Nadia, my partner, my love, and we both just cried. Now, we cried because of the disease, the pain that him and his family and his friends were experiencing. But we also cried in the way that he lived his life. ALS has been rumored, and I don't know what the stats say, can be caused by traumatic brain injury, things like playing football, professional football, college football, high school football. But this guy Gleason was just a go-getter. Seemed like a very spiritual guy, an outdoors guy, always doing an activity. And the woman that he married had that same kind of spirit, just really happy and living. And when he was diagnosed with ALS, he decided to go out and do some of the things that, travel, kind of do expeditions. And then he set up a foundation because he realized that obviously, the cure for ALS, we don't know when that's going to happen. And he had a choice when he set up a foundation to help others with the disease, to either help with the research part or to help right now with the communication, with the traveling, to help people do things so they can still live, right? Because ALS weakens the body. You still feel everything, but you can't do anything. Your motor functions, first, you can't run, then you can't walk, and then your wheelchair, then you lose all your muscle tone, and you have to be carried and lifted in a wheelchair. But he wanted people to be able to experience, family trips and just experience life and still live in it, because ALS, you feel everything. He wanted people to still experience everything, and I gotta tell you, like, you know, that made me cry, because we all get caught up in our lives, right, until something particularly affects us, right? It could be cancer, it could be death, it could be, you know, a family pet. You know, you gotta live each day of your life balanced, and I think that's the word that I got from this movie, listening to this guy talk about how, you know, now he has a child that's unborn, and he's diagnosed with ALS, and then the child's born, and by the time the child's born, he's already significantly impaired, and he does a video vlog, just like what I'm doing here, so he can let his son know who he is, what's important, and sort of tackle some of the topics that they may not be able to have, you know, as a father and son, because of his illness. His life expectation is obviously not that long, and it just got me thinking. You know, I get caught up in my work, and one of the things that he says to his son in one of the video logs is, you know, it's okay to go at something, and it's okay to really go for it. But he sort of almost warned about an extreme, and said, listen, you go at something, you try to tackle it, and if you tackle it, that's great. And if you don't tackle it, well, then you don't tackle it, but you gave it your best effort, and then you move on to the next thing. And he just talked about balance. And as I'm driving to work, you know, this late morning, I just started thinking about balance and how, you know, the ability to travel, the ability to do more family festivities. You know, we all just get caught up, whether it's with our families or with our friends. Like, sometimes we don't experience it. You know, I always listen to, you know, famous athletes talk, and obviously the people who are, you know, into today's, you know, who's on television. And Conor McGregor, you know, I'm a big UFC fan, talked about with his fight, when he was winning the interim title, how he had to, you know, take it in. Like, I think it was when he did the interim, it happened so quick he didn't even get to take it in. So when he fought Jose Aldo and he won, he really took it in. He really looked at the moment that he was living, the moment that he had dreamed about, the moment that he had focused on, and then he appreciated it coming into realization. Now, you know, all of us are not going to become NFL players, and all of us are not going to become UFC champions or boxing champions, but what are we champions of? We champion ourselves, the way we deal with other people, the way we are with our family and our friends, and making the time for those people. Everyone's busy. Everyone has to, you know, unfortunately, we all have to go to work and we all have to do a job, but there's got to be a balance. You got to realize that the reason why you work, yes, it's to help your family. It's to put a roof over their head, to put food in their stomach, to make sure that they have some of the things that, you know, maybe we all didn't have when we were children. Our relationships, you know, with our girlfriends, our wives, husbands, you know, whoever's watching this, is, you know, there's always that beginning moment in a relationship, you know, that process of falling in love, and you really feel it, right? You're aware of it, you know, when you get those goosebumps down your back, or that sort of weird feeling in your stomach, you know, people say in the pit of your stomach. But, you know, after being together for, you know, whether you're, you know, dating or married, after getting together, sometimes I think, I can't speak for other people, I miss that. I miss that I don't recognize and always let, you know, my partner, Nadia, know exactly how I feel about her. Sometimes I think that the things that that I let her, she hears me talking are only the negative things, the things that when I get upset or when I get agitated. And, you know, I personally think that I need to do better in that endeavor. I need to talk to people that I haven't spoken to. I need to let people know who have influenced me. I need to let, you know, my partner know I love her. I need to let, you know, Natalia, her daughter, know how much she means to me. You know, the same goes for my own father. Friends, you know, people who are important and have shared so many good times. I know it's weird, and obviously movies can influence your thoughts, you know, for the positive or for the negative. In this case, I think watching this movie and being so cognizant of Steve Gleason's life and some of the words that he shared, and just seeing his wife endure through the pain and the struggle, and him enduring, and you know, the loving relationship that's obviously been tested. We all test our relationships, whether, you know, we're dating, our family relationships, husbands and wives. They're tested on a daily basis because life gets in the way. You know, every day is not a vacation, right? Every day is not, you know, a day on the beach. Every day is not, you know, where the bank account's full and, you know, and the refrigerator's full of food. There's tough times, there's struggles, and we all have them, no matter how admired people are. And that's what, you know, Gleason talked about, was no matter how much he went from being this person who millions, you know, thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people knew and adored, to a guy who needed help to get on and off the toilet bowl. Our lives are here for an undefined time, and I need to be more balanced. I need to focus on my relationship with God. I need to focus on my relationship with family. I need to focus on my relationship with friends. All of that occurs if I can have a balance. I was just very moved by the movie. Like I said, I literally cried for the vast majority of it. Again, because I was feeling their pain. And that's how I know I have a soul, because you know, sometimes we all wonder, right? I've wondered, geez, you know, I'm a hard person, I'm an aggressive person. But when I watch a movie like that, and as a grown man, I can sit and cry, and I can imagine the possibilities that all the world faces, right? People in different cultures. I see so many different things in my job, but it's hard to attach, right? You need a movie director sometimes, but you really don't. You need to just live your life, but be aware of other people in their situations. You know, I posted something not too long ago, I shared it because an old boxing buddy from Davenport, Iowa, had put it on his Facebook account, and it says something to the effect of, like, you know, be kind to everybody, because you never know what their struggle is, right? You don't know what disease they could be facing. You don't know what hardship in life financially they may be dealing with. You don't know what depression they've been dealing with. So be kind to everybody. I don't know. I gotta tell you, just these couple of, you know, it's like puzzle pieces being put together. You know, first it was listening to Old Teammate at Alabama and the HBO special, and then it was, you know, Facebook post. Then there's, you know, I read someone today who lost a family pet,